Yeah, there's an incredible depth to it, an incredible sense of loneliness and isolation. Every single character seemed to, whether it was articulated or not, seemed to be imbued with a sense of backstory and a sense of subtext and a kind of a deep emotional and psychological undercurrent. So all the characters had a great depth to them. I loved the script. I was riveted by it. It's dark. It's weighty. As I said, there's this kind of fundamental loneliness that aches through every single page. Mike designed the Penguin. Spent weeks in his studio. We did, full mold, and he had a bust of me, and he carved it and went back to it the next day and carved it more, and he created this absolutely complete character. And honestly, when I saw Mike Marino's work and what he had created and how the Penguin was going to look facially, what his visage was going to be, I was so blown away, and I was so moved and excited and provoked, and my imagination just kind of kicked up a notch. And that was the great gift that Mike Marino's talent has given me on this film, was that he assuaged, and struggle is a good thing to a certain point as anyone who works in anything creative. Struggle is, it's the kite flies highest against the wind, so to speak. So it's good to have some resistance. It's good to have tension and struggle as you're embarking on the path to creating whatever you feel you have to or need to create. But at a certain point, then you do want a little bit of help, or you want the fortune of the gods to step in and drop an idea in your head or whatever it may be. And when I saw Mike's work, when I saw what he had done, what he had sculpted, I went, okay, cool. I finally got in my own mind what my version, Matt's version, this film's version of Oz Cobblepot was going to be. Oz is aware of his image, of what he looks like, and certain physical attributes or certain potentially physical handicaps he may have, including a fairly noticeable jerk in his gait as a result of something going on with his right leg, shall we say. And obviously his face is, he wears the hardship of the life that he's lived up until this point. Incredibly blatantly, it's all there. You look at his face and you see, got some scars, and it's fun creating a backstory for every single mark and every single issue that he has. It was fun because it's, there's a wealth of kind of information and a wealth of personal history that one can design, that you would hope, in thinking about it, even subtextually or unconsciously, finds its way into the character and onto the screen, but certainly lends itself to much more road. I'd love much more road with this character than I have the opportunity to traverse on this film. I feel like there's such as I said, a depth to everything that Matt has created, every character that he's designed, and particularly only really being concerned with my own character, Oz. I feel that there's just so much emotional and psychological complexity there that I would love to have more road than I'm not giving out, but the 3 or 4 scenes I have, I'm just being greedy, I will say it was one of the most exciting and most jubilant, celebratory experiences I've had in making pictures in 20 years. And I'm not overstating how much fun and how exciting and how a day that was, and how grateful I felt to be a part of that day, because we were all on the same page of experimentation. Everyone had a different thing to do. Art had the teeth, Sasha, she was looking after the hair, Mike Marino and Mike Fontaine were looking after the design and application of the pieces, which come in 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 pieces in 5, 6. There's 6 pieces in total, 6 prosthetic pieces. And then I was taking care of giving it, I suppose, animating it, giving it motion and giving it voice. And, but we all had we all came to the same kind of really specific goal, and we were all dealing with our own versions of uncertainty and nervousness and curiosity, and we all came from different directions. And so to be there that day, and even my youngest son came out to visit after school, my sister, his auntie, picked him up, and he came out to the studio just as we had applied the whole thing, and to see his to see his response to it was really special, was really lovely and really pure. We were all in the room already. Those of us who were working on the film were already really excited and really engaged with what we were doing. And then this, at the time, 10-year-old came out and was just so horrified and excited and shocked and kind of nervous with me for a few seconds. And it was really pure and really lovely. It was a very, very special day. I have to say, it was really magic. And we all commented on it because, gratefully I was with a bunch of people who aren't shy about, talking a little bit about how they're feeling in any given moment. So we were all talking about how fun and how pure and enjoyable and creatively expansive a day and experience that first day was. When you put the whole thing on, it's not you anymore. I mean, you're there, you're inside, and all inside is to create a separation. But at the start, it does feel inside, and then it doesn't feel inside anymore. There doesn't feel to be any space between you and what you're wearing. It's all one of the, and what this thing, it's all one and the same. But it does somehow, or certainly did for me, inspire a different way of moving, a different way of talking, a different way of gesticulating. He's extraordinary. I mean, he's extraordinary. He's so bright. His mind is functioning at such an impressively high level. The amount of information, I mean, I've seen him at the monitor asking for certain scenes that were shot months ago, and he remembers which take, what angle, and it's impressive and almost worrying. I mean, it's a lot, and I get the sense that Matt, understandably and rightfully, knows that there is a very rich and very adored and very protected and revered history to this character of Batman and to this world of Gotham and these criminals. And I think the responsibility that he has as a filmmaker and a storyteller is one that he is keenly aware of. And I think I haven't talked to him about it, but I imagine, of course, that he has an enormous amount of respect for certain iterations that have come before him. So it's a huge thing in the world that we're talking about, a film. It's a huge thing to take on board. Never mind with all the responsibility and the complications that have come as a result of COVID. But he is incredibly passionate. He has lived and breathed these characters for whatever it is now as a filmmaker. I don't even know as a kid or a teenager in regards to his love for the comic books. But as a filmmaker and a storyteller, he's lived and breathed these characters for 3 years now. He created the script, took him quite a bit of time, he'll tell you himself, to write it, because he really wanted to crack the narrative and he really wanted to have a unique perspective on this world. And I think it's probably quite a bit younger Batman than we've seen, Bruce Wayne than we've seen. So it is a new period in the life of this character that I don't think has been explored cinematically.